Hey everyone, welcome back to this week's edition of the Maconi Setup Shop A-Fix Tutorials. This week we're looking at the Charlotte Roval, so strap in and let's get to it. As you guys are very well aware by now, I'm not the greatest road course racer and I never claim to be, but I do try my very best to limit the amount of unnecessary time lost, and I think this track with this car is a real test to that. This car to me is pretty difficult to drive. I feel like I'm on edge everywhere. The first lap, when there's no heat in the tires, feels incredibly sketchy. The rear end of the car feels like it's got no weight in it whatsoever, at least to me. So the first lap, even in a race situation when you're around other cars, I think you're really going to want to try to take care of it and not get yourself in trouble because I think it's really easy to do. The other thing too is you're going to know really, really quick if you overdrive a corner because there is no chance of saving the car if you overdrive it. Again, the rear end honestly feels like it's got no weight in it. So if you overdrive the corner and get on the brakes really hard to try to make up for it, you're along for the ride. Okay, it is challenging. So very important to stay within yourself. If you feel like you're overdriving or really on the edge of being out of control, back it up. Back it up before it's too late. Okay, don't try to chase lap times around here. Um, I feel like my times are okay. I know there's a lot of room that they can be better, but this is me kind of just staying within myself here. As you can see, the second lap, this line is a lot better. So if you guys do want to go back throughout this video and watch lap one was very hesitant. Lap two and three, now that the tires have heat in them, I think are more usable to show. But my first lap and everything that I've done so far has been really, really poor. So for lap three, I'm really going to try to break down a lot of the techniques, and I'm even going to slow the video and pause it at times, just so that I can try to explain what I want to explain without the car being halfway across the racetrack while I'm still talking about a previous corner. Um, Another big thing that I go over in every road course video that we do is to brake in the straightest line possible and try to do all of your shifting before you get to the corner. Okay, especially here, this is not a racetrack where you want to be trying to shift and still slow down while you're going through the corner. You will slide off the track in a hurry. Okay, there's not a lot of room here. There's a lot of passing opportunities, in my opinion, just based on the layout. Turn one being one of them. Again, turning in about the one. We'll back it up here real quick. I'm braking right up in here. If I drive it any deeper than this, I just feel like the rear end is going to dance on me and come around. You can see it's already kind of squirrely. I'm not trying to touch the curb. Okay, as weird as that sounds, with this car and this update to the tire and everything else, the last road course we did at Watkins Glen was really sketchy. This is even sketchier, and you saw it in the back bus stop. I want to get as close as I can without hitting it. Okay. Obviously, I can get a little bit closer, but I feel like if I do hit this curb, it wants to push the car over to the right. All right. So just, I find that there's a lot more speed by not hitting the curb. If you're comfortable with doing it, by all means, go ahead. Watch the throttle inputs here. Okay. Not there's no need to get full throttle in this section. If you do, it's real easy for this car to jump out. This is another part of the racetrack here. If you overdrive this corner, okay, like if I was to drive it half a car length deeper than this, I'm either going to be drifting or I've got a one-way ticket to this little wall here. Okay, ideally, uh, I would like to get to the blue line a little bit sooner, just a little bit sooner, and then arc out. You want to touch this rumble strip. Okay, and the technique that I find is you don't want to be on the brakes too hard. Okay, this is a corner where you really want to let the car roll through. Okay, very little brake input, and the goal is to just get to these rumble strips. Okay, I missed this entrance. Okay, but the next rumble strip, like ideally, you want to touch both of those, just touch them a little bit. Okay, and notice how long I'm letting the car roll. Very little inputs here. Waiting till I'm almost straight, coming off of this corner and then setting up for this one. This is one where I have a bad habit of over braking. Okay, this is another corner where you can let the car roll a lot longer than you think. Okay, um, Setting up for this corner here, again, not a lot of inputs. This tricky part, the closer you get to the tires, the better, because you're going to have a straighter launch off. A lot of people, in my opinion, and I was bad at this too, wait till you're on the straightaway. Okay, you want to start the straightaway about where we're at. This is where you want to build your momentum. If you're waiting until we're up on the banking before you even get on the gas, that's a lot of momentum and a lot of speed that you're missing out on. Okay, so very comfortable. All right, as soon as you get down to that tire barrier, you want to start building the throttle, because you're just going to build that momentum and make this part of the racetrack that much longer. And then the bus stop here, when I get to the straightaway, I want to hit the brakes. I've been daring myself to get a little bit deeper. If I drive it past the 5 marker, you can kiss this corner goodbye, at least for me. So pretty much when I get on the straightaway, I want to hit the brakes. I'm trying to get myself to drive it just before the 5 marker. But if you're not on the brakes by the 5 marker, you can forget the bus stop altogether. Um, this corner here, very tricky. Again, I don't use references on the racetrack very often. By the time I get to the end of this line down here, I want to be off of everything. Okay, or off the throttle and on the brakes. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said off of everything. Okay, if I drive it past this, it is an absolute handful going into this little chicane here. Okay, the car wants to dance around a lot. You're going over transitions. We all know how this car is when you're going over bumps and transitions. Trying to make this entrance here as straight as possible and float. I feel like I'm floating through the corner, okay? And again, I know I said earlier you don't want to touch curbs. This part of the racetrack, the chicane, you have to. If you don't, then you're just way too slow and giving up so much speed. Um, I'm trying to aim to where I can get my left sides to this blue line. It's a lot easier said than done, okay? Um, but that's the goal, and that helps set up this entrance here. See, definitely missed the blue curbs. If you hit the blue curbs here, you'll know. And the car really feels awful, and you will probably cost yourself a time penalty. I find that if I can hit this one right, I should just nick this second one. And this is the important one that you barely want to touch, because if you hit too much of this, the car gets up in the air and it pushes you out to the wall, and you have to wait a long time to get back on the gas. Okay, I'll switch to the in-car, and I'm not going to do a silent lap for this video. I'll still try to talk through a little bit, um, just because of the length of the video. I don't want to have to replay this, so we're going to do the in-car. I'll only speak when I need to, but again, this is more for your guys' visuals, so that when you get in the car, it's a lot more relatable. Okay. Another big tip that I find that helps me here, I don't have a lot of laps, but another big tip that I have is I'm trying to get the biggest arc that I can. Um, that's part of my problem for missing some corners, probably, is because I'm trying to get that arc. The more of an arc you have, the more corner speed you can carry. Okay, and when you watch these really fast guys, they're so good at maximizing the racetrack, getting the biggest arc they can, getting the best launch off they can, exiting out as far as possible, right? Um, you want to use all the racetrack here. You want to. It's easier said than done, but you want to use all of the racetrack for entering and exiting. Um, Again, this bus stop here, you're going to see once we're straight, hard on the brakes, trying to do everything in a straight line, all the way down to second gear, little curb, and trying to exit straight. You get full throttle when the car is pointed straight. If you have wheel input trying to exit the bus stop and you get full throttle, might as well start doing donuts because it gets really loose. Okay, guys, that'll just about do it for this week's video. Again, if there's a lot that can be discussed, I'm sure. Again, I'm not the best road course racer, so I'm trying to offer as much help as I possibly can. It's not my strongest suit, but I feel like I'm decent enough. My pace probably isn't the greatest, but I feel like my line and everything else is good enough that where if I was to race, I can hold my own. Again, for me, it's not about charging forward. When I do road courses, I'm just trying to limit my mistakes. limit my off tracks, and limit unnecessary time given up. Um, and I feel like that's a big thing. A lot of people get outside their comfort zone and they're trying to chase lap time and they're trying to chase results. And I find that it just gets you into trouble. And this is a racetrack where if you're not comfortable, you can get in trouble in a big hurry. Okay. Um, if there's anything that I may have missed, anything you want clarification on or have a question about, please leave a comment down below and I will get back to them throughout the week. If you find that this video was helpful, please consider leaving a like. And as always, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you can see these videos every Monday when they're posted on the Maconi YouTube page. Okay, guys, best of luck this week, and we'll see you on the track.